Hello everyone, I'm Barihadar, and today we are going to dive into a topic that's been shaking up the skies: supply chain disruption in the aerospace industry, with a special focus on one of the industry giants, Boeing. Think of this as a journey through the challenges and turbulence facing the industry today. Before we take off, let me introduce you the amazing team behind this presentation. I'm Barihadar, and joining me are Oluwadare Emmanuel and Oladapo Zahid Ologo. We have each worked on different parts of this project, and together we hope to provide you with a clear and insightful look into what's going on in the aerospace industry. These are the contents that we are going to cover later in this presentation. Let's start with what we aim to achieve. Our main goal is to explore the supply chain disruptions affecting the aerospace industry, with a particular focus on Boeing, and to provide strategic recommendations to make the supply chain more resilient in the future. Our objectives are to identify and analyze the root causes of these disruptions since 2020. We will look at everything from the pandemic's impact to material shortages, to evaluate how these disruptions have specifically affected Boeing's production, delivery schedules, and financial performance, and finally, to propose actionable recommendations for companies, supply chain managers, and even government bodies to help navigate the challenges. Now, let's set the stage. The aerospace industry is crucial to global transportation and commerce. It's the backbone of our connected world, ensuring that people and goods can travel across the globe efficiently. However, this industry has been facing some serious turbulence recently. Companies like Boeing are struggling with delays in meeting delivery requirements for new planes. These delays are slowing down industry growth, creating a backlog of orders, making it harder for airlines to get the aircraft they need on time. Imagine you're waiting for a flight and it just keeps getting delayed. That's what's happening on a much larger scale in the industry. To cope with these issues, some airlines are looking for alternative suppliers or even merging with others to secure enough planes to meet their needs. This shows just how critical these disruptions have become. Today, we will explore the underlying causes of these problems with a focus on what's been happening since 2020. Now, let's dive into the context of our discussion. In this part of the presentation, Emmanuel and I will walk you through four key areas: industry wide supply chain disruptions. We will explore the broader challenges affecting the entire aerospace sector. Number two, impact on Boeing and the broader industry. We will take a closer look at how these disruptions are specifically impacting Boeing and the industry as a whole. Number three, the aircraft supply chain structure. We will break down how the supply chain in the aerospace industry is structured and why it's so vulnerable to disruptions. Number four, root causes since 2020. Finally, we will identify the root causes of these disruptions, focusing on the challenges that have emerged since 2020. Now, let's look at the broader context. The aerospace industry is like a giant puzzle with the pieces spread all over the world. It relies on a global network of suppliers to function smoothly. But in recent years, several factors have caused some of these puzzle pieces to go missing or become harder to fit together. First, the COVID-19 pandemic was a major disruptor. It led to factory shutdowns and significant delays in getting essential parts delivered on time. The entire supply chain was thrown off balance, causing production to slow down. Second, geopolitical tensions and trade disputes added more challenges. Trade restrictions and tariffs made it more harder to obtain crucial materials like titanium and aluminum, which are needed to build aircraft. These materials became more expensive and harder to find, further disrupting the supply chain. Third, there has been a shortage of skilled labor. The pandemic disrupted training programs and led to a decrease in available skilled workers, making it harder to keep up with production demands. All these factors combined have created a perfect storm of challenges for the aerospace industry. Boeing, in particular, has been hit hard. The company had to reduce its production rates for the 787 Dreamliner from 14 planes per month before the pandemic to just 5 per month in 2021. This slowdown has had a significant impact on their ability to meet demand and keep their finances in check. These disruptions are not just affecting the Boeing, they are rippling across the entire aerospace sector, impacting everything from production schedules to delivery timelines and even financial performance. It's like trying to steer a plane through a storm without knowing when the turbulence will end. Now, Emmanuel will take it from here and continue explaining more about context.
Impacts on Boeing and the border industry. The 737 MAX grounding has led to a significant loss of sales, revenue, and reputation of Boeing. This has resulted in a substantial backlog of undelivered planes. Production quality problems have led to delays, increased cost, and potential safety risk. This has also impacted the backlog of the airline industry. Difficult in securing a consistent supply components. Boeing supply chain issues have resulted in production delay, increased cost, and reliability concerns. This has made it challenging for the company to deliver planes on time. Then we have backlogs and delay. Over 4,800 planes have been resulted in a massive backlog of undelivered planes, including the key model like the 737 MAX, the 787 Dreamliner, and the 777X. The company is facing significant delay in delivering these key models, which has impacted the airline's operation and growth of the plane. Airline consolidation strategy. Airlines with significant orders like the Ryanair Air are responding to the supply chain crisis by acquiring smaller carriers to gain access to additional aircraft. This consolidation strategy highlighted the severity of the supply chain problem as airlines are forced to find creative solutions to maintain capacity and grow their fleets. Supply chain problem severity. The fact that airlines are resorting to consolidation to access additional aircraft underscore the severity of the supply chain problem. The challenges facing Boeing are far-reaching implications of the broader industry, including suppliers, airlines, and passengers. So in summary, Boeing challenges have resulted in a significant backlog delay and a severe supply chain crisis, which has forced the airline to adopt creative solutions. In this slide, I will be talking about the aircraft supply chain structure. On this slide, the aircraft supply chain structure has three tiers: the raw material suppliers, which includes the consumable parts of the raw material. Then the second tier has multi-tier suppliers, which includes the motors, the hydraulic pumps and components and other parts. Then moving to the second box on the second tier, we have the first tier suppliers, which includes the structure, propulsion, and the pneumatic system flight. And then moving to the next box is the OEM, which means the original equipment manufacturer, which includes the design, assembling, integration, and services. And the last tier on the aircraft supply chain structure has the MROs, which means the maintenance, repair, and overhauling. And then the last box on the last slide as the consumers, that's the final users, which are the airline state, or we can also call them the airline companies. In this slide, I'll be talking about the root causes since 2020. Since the 2020 pandemic, the aerospace industry has faced significant disruptions with lasting impacts on manufacturing and delivering timelines. So we have three major challenging points, which are number one, the pandemic induced disruptions, the geopolitical tension, and then the technological integration. So I'll take one after the other. So the first one, which is the pandemic induced disruption, there was a widespread factory shutdown, which reduced the workforce availability and logistically bottlenecked have reduced production rate and causes significant delay in aircraft deliveries, particularly for Boeing. Then the second one is the geopolitical tension. Trade tension between the major economies such as US and China have strained the global supply chain, leading to increased cost and delay in securing criteria for aerospace components. The last point of the root cause is the technological integration complexity. The adoption of new technologies, including advanced composites and next generation avionics, has introduced additional complexities into the supply chain. This requires more specialized components and processes, further slowing down productions. So, Oladapo will come and further explain data analysis on the next slides.
Now, let's dive into the data. This report employs a secondary data analysis methodology to investigate Boeing and the aerospace sector supply chain challenges. By sourcing data from existing literature, industry reports, financial statements, and news articles, the analysis aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of the issues at hand. The methodology centers on content analysis, a qualitative research approach recognized for its effectiveness in systematically examining and interpreting data from various sources, according to Tsai and Shannon. This method allows for a nuanced understanding of the complexities surrounding Boeing's operations and the broader aerospace industry. In addition to the content analysis, the report conducts a comparative analysis of Boeing's supply chain issues alongside those prevalent in the wider aerospace sector. This comparison reviews both unique challenges specific to Boeing, such as production delays and regulatory hurdles, as well as common issues affecting the entire industry, including supply chain disruptions and labor shortages. The findings highlight the interconnected nature of the aerospace sector, illustrating how challenges faced by Boeing may reflect broader trends impacting other companies in the industry. By identifying these unique and shared challenges, the report aims to provide insights that can inform strategic decision making and enhance resilience within Boeing and the aerospace sector as a whole. In conclusion, the comprehensive analysis not only sheds light on Boeing's specific supply chain difficulties, but also situates these challenges within the larger context of the aerospace industry, offering valuable perspectives for stakeholders and seeking to navigate this complex landscape. Now, let's look at the data analysis. Boeing is currently facing significant challenges in its aircraft backlog, which exacerbated by ongoing supply chain disruptions, which is projected to take up to 15 years to resolve. A key factor contributing to this backlog is the delays associated with the 737 MAX, primarily driven by shortages of essential components such as engines and avionics. These shortages have severely impacted Boeing's ability to meet market demand. Financially, Boeing has experienced substantial setbacks. In 2020, the company reported a 24% decline in revenue compared to the previous year, resulting in an unprecedented loss of a massive $11.9 billion. This financial strain has been further intensified by increased costs stemming from supply chain inefficiencies and the need to expedite deliveries as well. Boeing's supply chain is extensively comprising over 12,000 suppliers across more than 65 countries. However, many of these suppliers have faced financial distress or even bankruptcy due to the reduced orders and production slowdowns, further complicating Boeing's operational landscape. This fragmentation within the supply chain, coupled with the financial instability of its suppliers, has made it increasingly difficult for Boeing to maintain a very consistent production rate As a result of this, these challenges not only affect Boeing's operations but also contribute to the overall backlog within the aerospace industry, highlighting this systemic issue that extends beyond the company itself. Addressing these supply chain vulnerabilities will be crucial for Boeing to recover and stabilize its production capabilities in the future. Looking at the figure above, we can see the revenue backlogs of Boeing starting from 2007. We can see they've enjoyed major success and they have the highest revenue recorded in 2018. But 2019, they have a significant drop and they have their lowest revenue in 2020. We can say this can be surmounted to the COVID-19 pandemic that gripped the world. And ever since then, they have been trying to catch up, to go back to the high standard they have always known to be, and it has proven difficult for them due to the disruptions in supply chain, among other contributing factors affecting this. Now let's look at the figure above us, which is the Boeing supply chain principles. Looking at this figure, we can see the various supply chain principles that Boeing has. We have the safety and quality, which is very paramount, and we have the relationship based on integrity, diversity, which is valued as well. We have the transparent communications, delivery performances, which is highly fundamental, and we have lastly the sustainable continuous value creation. Under the safety and quality, you can see safety is never compromised in Boeing. They collaboratively design quality into all products and services in what they do, and this is the goal because safety comes first before anything in Boeing, which has been their principle from day one. Then looking at the relationship based on integrity, you can see relationships are beneficial and are respected. Diverse thinking, amongst their employers and other contractors they have. And looking at the transparent communication is based on honesty and integrity. The digital links, the businesses are just shared success among every platform, and delivery performance, which is very highly fundamental as well. Perfect parts and services are delivered on time, on every time. Sufficient capacity, is maintained to meet total demand. And lastly, the sustainable, continuous value creation. Boeing meets the demand from one customers for continuous value creation. You understand? This rewards, a balance with risks and investment across the economic life cycle. So looking at this figure above is the degree of impact of COVID-19 on supply chains on Boeing. So as you can see, the disruptions of making their planes since the pandemic, it was high as 33.33%. This means that disruption of production of planes were halted because there was no available of materials to build our planes. So it was high at 33.3%, and this is a major disruption due to the pandemic. And lastly, looking at the last figure above us, we can see the expected losses from supply chain disruption across various companies in the world and industry in the world. We can see the aerospace, which is the commercial, the plane has the highest among other pegs, due to supply chain disruptions. This could be due to COVID and other contributing factors. So this is not a good news for Boeing. You can see the aerospace, this is commercial airline, is the highest of all other industries on the figure above. So this is a contributing factor as well, to Boeing, delaying and meeting customers' demands and delivering customers' planes at the right time. Due to this, global COVID-19 pandemic, we played a major role. So looking at this figure, the aerospace suffered the most and lost money out of all this. They are losing money because they couldn't deliver to customer standards, and the customers are looking elsewhere to get their services done. In conclusion, the aerospace industry supply chain problems are complex, involving pandemic-induced disruptions, geopolitical tensions, and structural weakness within the supply chain itself. Boeing challenges are indicative of broader industry issues that have slowed growth and create significant delivery backlogs. The company's large aircraft backlog, significant financial losses, and fragmented supply chain underscore the severity of these disruptions. These are among the few recommendations that we propose that can help Boeing improve their supply chain disruptions. Aerospace companies should diversify their supply chains to reduce dependency on single sources, especially for critical components and raw materials like titanium and aluminum. Also, skilled labor shortages should be addressed as well through targeted training and development programs in order to scale up production capabilities and reduce delivery delays. Additionally, partnership between original OEMs, which is the original equipment manufacturers, suppliers, and governments should be strengthened to help mitigate risks and stabilize the supply chain and improve resilience. And lastly, implementing advanced analytics, AI, which is artificial intelligence, and digital twins, which can enhance supply chain visibility and enabling management of potential disruptions and improving efficiency. Thank you very much. These are the references that we have used in our presentation. This brings an end to our presentation. On behalf of me and the team, we want to say a very big thank you to you all. Thank you and bye for now.